Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 76 of Cute Little Love Letters. This one is titled School Camp. Oh, serious? I was thinking 3, so that's amazing, he said with delight. I want 3 girls, all pretty little fairies, just like you, he said as he did a half crunch and sat up to kiss you on the lips. I think I would like a boy and a girl, you said. A cute little boy like Daddy, and my little girl who loves Daddy as much as I do, you said, and Denki grinned and reached his arms around you and pulled you down on top of him for a cuddle. That's cute. I like that, he said as he kissed your cheek and jaw. The rest of the night was lovely. You spent a little more time alone with Denki, and then your dad called out to you so that he could show Denki his new baby plants, which you wanted to see as well. And then it was getting late, so your dad drove you and Denki back to the dorms again. Friday morning was chaos. You only had morning classes so that you could quickly pack for camp, and then by 3 p.m. everybody was on the giant coaches headed to the mountains for the school camp. Thankfully the buses were mingled, so you got to sit with Denki, and it was kind of nice that your class and his had had the opportunity to spend time together the previous weekend, because everybody seemed to get along really well. There were friendly greetings and queries of who was going to sit with who, and then you were all off, headed for the next camp. Here we go again, Denki said as the bus pulled out of the school driveway. This feels familiar. It certainly does, you said as you squeezed his hand in yours. He lifted your hand up to his lips and kissed the back of it, making your heart melt with his sweetness. I'm so looking forward to this weekend, you thought with a smile as you looked from him out the bus window to the hills beyond. I wonder what this weekend will bring. Remembering what your mum had said about arming yourself with gems, you had a lot of different bracelets on. Ones for healing, protection, love and connectedness, and your bag held many others, including some to place around your bed and under your pillow at night, just to be extra careful. You were still a little wary of the presence that you had felt on the walk home from work that day, but thankfully you hadn't felt it in the school grounds or otherwise. All had been quiet on that front. It was a good 2-hour bus ride into the mountains, and you could almost feel the atmosphere shift as you entered in under the large trees. This is going to be nice being in nature again, you thought, as you watched the trees go by outside your window. Denki had fallen asleep now and was resting his head on your shoulder, which you didn't mind at all. Unbeknownst to you, Denki had been trying to practice his quirk earlier that day and a little over the week, but it was hard work, and although he didn't go overboard, he was still not good at controlling his output. As the bus pulled up at the campsite and cabins, you roused Denki with a kiss to his forehead, and he sat up groggily. We're here, you said sweetly. Oh, cool. Yeah, he replied in a sleepy voice, and you giggled. I think you're very cute when you're a little sleepy and not quite awake yet, you said to him, and he smiled with half-lidded eyes. Thanks, he half chuckled. Well, I guess that's kind of good, right? I'm not perfect in this state, but she still likes me. But I guess me being a little sleepy is a lot different to me drooling and punching the air. He sighed internally. The bus pulled to a stop and everyone got up and filed out to get their bags, everyone grabbing their things before being directed to the girls' cabins or boys' cabins. You and Denki smiled at each other as you parted ways and headed to your respective cabins, with you remembering what you and Denki had been talking about the night before. Thinking about us, making babies. Your brain echoed his words, and you hung your head as your face burned. If we slept in the same bed here, would we end up doing that? You wondered, trying to stop your brain from bringing up images associated with it. Oh, no, stop. This has never happened before, you cried internally. Yin? Kendo's voice asked, and you looked up at her quickly. I'm sorry, it's not that, you replied, and she tilted her head at you. It's not what? She asked. Oh, nothing, you replied, and she hummed unsurely. Okay, well, do you want top bunk or bottom? I'm easy, she said proudly. I'll go on the bottom, you said. I don't mind. Okay, she replied happily, swinging her bag up onto the top bunk and clambering up there. You put your stuff down on the bottom bunk, and then you heard your teacher, Vlad King, calling for everyone to come and line up outside. You and the rest of the girls followed suit and met him outside the rooms, lining up outside to hear what he had to say. We will be working in girls and boys groups first, Vlad King said. If you are familiar with your quirks, then please go and do what you need to do to start strengthening or extending your quirk time, he said. For those who are unsure, please come and see me, and we'll talk about the best course of action. Maybe that's me, you thought. I know I can hold fairy form, and 1 hour is maximum, but I don't know how to extend it beyond that. While the other girls started to spread out and do their practices, you approached Vlad King for help. Sir, I don't know how to work at extending my quirk time, you said to him. Would you be able to give me some ideas? I need to work on bigger output, Denki thought as he looked around. Aizawa had told the boys that they would be working with only the boys for the first bit, but Denki, in his paranoia, didn't want you to see him possibly overload, so he did another quick look around before letting off a charge. All appeared to be going well, but then all of a sudden he felt the tingle all through his body, and the next thing he knew he was just starting to come out of his derp mode and could feel his limbs jerking randomly and his mouth moving in awkward clicky jaw movements. Damn, it happened again, he thought as he raised a jerky limb to his face and wiped the saliva off his cheek. I need to be so careful. Still unable to do his training well, he went to Aizawa to ask for some help. He was praying hard that he wouldn't see you at all during the training portion of the trip. That would be way too embarrassing. Friday night dinner was very quiet. Everyone had been pushing the limits of their quirks just a little earlier, and you sat beside Denki to eat, but both of you were very tired and subdued. How did you go with training? You asked him quietly, noting that he was quite dirty. Okay, I guess, he said, not looking at you. And you? It was okay. I don't really know how to improve my quirk, but I did some fitness training under the guidance of Vlad King. Oh, that sounds good, Denki replied. Did you do your own training? You asked him. Yeah, a little, but then I asked Aizawa for help. My quirk is dangerous, he replied. Yeah, dangerous to my social and boyfriend status, he thought internally. I hope tomorrow isn't going to be like this afternoon, you sighed before putting food onto your plate. Yeah, same, Denki said. But this is a class training camp, so I already know it's going to be full on. You sighed. At least we got each other, right? You asked him. Yeah, baby. We always got each other, he said with a smile, as he took your hand to do the thankfulness before eating. You all crashed like crazy that night, and then it was up early next morning for drills and then a run through the forest. You and Denki had been keeping an eye on each other throughout the morning, so when it came time for the run you made sure to stay close together, and as soon as you were out of earshot or view of the teachers you slowed down and walked together instead. I'm already tired and it's not even 10 a.m, Denki groaned. It's really intense, isn't it? You replied. I wonder if we'll have some time off this afternoon. We could go for a little walk away from everyone? You offered. There's no rest in the hero course of UA. Stay tuned for chapter 77 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.